The Carlisle chapter. The Carlisle,
Oh
the
man,
Cullen family history chapter.
the family history chapter fucking sucks.
Yeah, I think that's chapter 16.
That's when I found the audiobook online
So that
too.
chapter 16, that's page 334. So this is after we had a lot of talking, of just kind of talking, and like Sophie read this kind of awkward teen interaction at school and at home, and all, all the different type
Is
of
this
activities you do
before
as
or
a teen.
after she's like, wow, that's a big Jeep you got there?
That's before, because the Jeep is right before the baseball. But like what was I gonna say? No, the Carlisle chapter is right after the chapter where they go to Edward's house and he introduces her to like all his vampire family, and they kind of all know that she knows that they're vampires, and like they're kind of like trying to be human and like welcoming to humans, and they're kind of awkward about it. But then we get like, Edward takes her upstairs to Carlisle's office and starts giving her like the rundown of how Carlisle became a vampire, how old he is. And I just thought that chapter was good because well, it wasn't like good, but I was like, okay, here we go, let's get something. All right, giving the reader the backstory, the history, the kind of lore, because every time there's a vampire novel like this, sure, we have like the traditional vampire lore, and there's some reference to that when Bella's using her internet connection in like 2003 or whatever, her like hot pink translucent Mac or whatever on her desk, that she's searching vampire lore online with a dial-up connection.
Yeah.
Did bring me back a little bit. Yeah, that did bring me back to the days of AIM and shit. But I was like, okay, this is good. Like, you got to give the lore, and they all kind of take a few
But
liberties with
there's
that.
no, it takes so long before we get any sense of, and these are our enemies. And
Well,
that doesn't even matter to this book.
one of the big liberties that she took with this book, and I think is it's not terrible, but it's also kind of like a little bit cheating. The vampires can come out during the day, and I
Yeah.
get that she kind of
Well,
covers that up with
there's a
like
lot of cheating. They can also go out in the daylight, they just sparkle.
they sparkle, they don't burn up and die. Yeah, like in most vampire lore.
There are very limited ways to kill them.
Yeah, they don't even talk about stakes through the heart in this. They talk about tearing them to pieces and burning them. Any of that stuff, silver, garlic, crosses, there's no reference to any of that. Maybe there are in later books, but at least not in this first one. So, okay, whatever. Every kind of book kind of puts their own twist on the vampire lore. That's fine. So I was willing to forgive that too, right? Okay, but like give us the lore. Like give us the rules of the universe. This is what I was kind of dying for that at that point. Because, dude, at this point, we're 334 pages into this
Yeah,
novel.
by the way, just for reference, they declare their love for each other, or at least Bella declares her love for Edward, at least to the reader, on page like 195.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
they declare their love for each other like the first time they hang out.
yeah, and my thing with the Carlisle story was I was like, okay, this would be a good opportunity to lay down how all this came to be, or at least give us like the rules that Carlisle puts forth for all the vampires, how they survive, maybe how they hunt together as a family, because they supposedly just feed off of animals and not humans, all that kind of stuff. Like you could lay all that down, and it just didn't happen. There were a few decent little bits of fictional lore where Carlisle came from, and like kind of the 1600s in Europe, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and some of those moments are fun, but the part where Edward's just taking him around, or taking Bella around Carlisle's office and around the house, I thought was kind of. Well,
It's
this is also
disappointing.
when she just, maybe I'm sort of blending two chapters together. This is also
Well,
like
they
right
are a
after
little
she
blended.
meets, yeah,
Yeah,
she also just met the whole family.
because that chapter and then the
And that's,
chapter, yeah, and then the chapter with Carlisle, they're right after one another, and they're both take place in the same scene. So they're both in the
yeah,
Cullen house. One's in Carlisle's office, and then one's kind of downstairs. And then, but that chapter on Carlisle, there's like a couple pages of giving us a little bit of lore and history and cool little like, oh, these people are so old. Look at how old he's been around. Look at how old this painting is. And then it just kind of devolves into Edward playing the piano for Bella, and Bella being kind of swooned by it, and then them not
yeah,
fucking. But then we get the first kiss after that, but that whole Carlisle chapter, I was just like, man, this was such a missed opportunity. Like, you could have really driven this home, given us a little bit of history about the werewolves in the area. And I get, if you're writing a big series like this, she probably wasn't aware of the fact that she was going to have this werewolf battle by the time she finished this book, right? You know, as of somebody who's a writer, trying to be a writer at least, like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure you don't know that's going to happen by the, you know, that you're going to go this direction while you're finishing these, you know, series of 4 very lengthy books. You know, she probably didn't even know there were going to be 4 books at this point when she finished this one. So you can, you know, just to be fair about it. But god damn, like, you could have done something. Like, you could have set up this some way. Like, I just thought it was a missed opportunity. And again, just to like a showing that, yeah, she's an amateur. There's a reason that she didn't publish anything before this, and again, hasn't really published anything since.
No, the first time they kiss is on page 282.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn it, so I missed that.
And then they just sort of don't stop kissing.